Good morning, everybody. I hope you can all hear me fine. There's still some people coming onto the group, but in the interim we can start. So very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us in our webinar today. We are discussing SMA solar inverters and the role in the PV system. We thank you for your time and thank you for your effort to join us in this event today. I trust that you'll sit back and relax and just get some new insights on the SMA product, the wonderful product that it is. Our host today is Stefan. Very excited about this. Can't wait to start. But before we start, just a few formalities. On your right-hand side, you will see a little hand that you can put up. If you've got any questions, you can just raise your hand. Then one of our friendly staff will be able to see exactly what it is that your question is. Please can we ask that all the long-winded questions be kept for the end. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you all for joining us. I'm very excited. Stefan will be our presenter today. He knows the SMA product in and out, so make some notes to ask some questions a little bit later. Over to you, Stefan.
Good morning. Can I just get a hands up if everyone can hear me and it's clear? Good. Seems like most of the people can hear me. Good morning. My name is Stefan. I'm going to represent SMA this morning. You all must just bear with us. I'm actually at the moment in the Darstop in the Western Cape for a big agricultural show. Start with the company SMA. You guys know it's a German company and they've been around for 35 years. So if I can just get myself going here. So our agenda for today is I'm just going to discuss a little introduction to SMA and SMA South Africa and what they stand for. Why is SMA the leader in PV system technology in the world? I firmly believe that SMA is definitely one of the leaders in the world. Then we're going to talk about private applications, just a quick run through the private applications and what SMA can do for you in your private application. We're going to look at commercial applications, what SMA can do for you there. We're going to look at some complete solutions. I'm just going to give you an idea because there's a lot of people that don't always understand how the SMA products fit together. So I'm going to try and put that for you together just to show a complete solution, how it would look like. And then new and future products. This, I see this presentation is a little bit out of sync, but y'all just bear with us. And I'm going to talk about new and future products of SMA that is coming out, that is already out, and which you guys can talk to PROINSO about. So introduction to SMA. SMA has been around for 35 years. They're leading global specialists in photovoltaic systems. As you know, SMA has got more than 3,000 employees in more than 20 countries. And like I said, they've been around, I think, the longest out of all the inverter manufacturers in the world. And that's always a good thing. When you start selling a product to a client, one of the issues is always they ask, because solar is a new thing in South Africa, they always ask, how are you going to back up your product? How are you going to back up your service? What guarantees or warranties do you have? And when you've got a company with 35 years experience behind you, you know they're going to be around for a long time to come. So that's always important. That's a great selling point in SMA for me, is being able to tell the client that, listen here, these guys are an established company all over the world. And then I'm going to just give you a quick introduction to SMA Sub-Sahara Africa. Africa has a big potential for photovoltaic, and especially the IPP or the bigger commercial solar plants. If you look up in Africa, all the solar plants that are popping up everywhere, there's a massive market for that out there. And SMA has recognized this, like most European companies, they're all trying to get into this market in Africa. So for SMA, it's really important to have a good foothold in Africa, and in all the different sectors, utility scale, commercial, residential, and then obviously, of course, our fuel saving applications. So just a little bit of reference, you can go onto the SMA website. There's the SMA South Africa website also. South Africa has done some, SMA has done some really big projects in Africa. One of them, I just gave 2 examples here. One was Kalkpo, which was 75 megawatts in 2030. And then they've also put up a fuel hybrid system in Tabazimbi, which is about 1 megawatt in 2012. But you guys can go on the internet and just have a look through all their flagship projects. This is just Africa. This is not even talking about the rest of the world. And another thing I would like to take this opportunity to also crush some rumors, because obviously everybody read the news in August that SMA is closing the factory in Cape Town. And yeah, what happened is, just to tell everybody, it's not SMA actually that's closing, but it's just a factory in Cape Town that produces the utility scale inverters. I'm talking 800 kilowatts and bigger inverters in Cape Town. So it's only the factory that's closing, and definitely not SMA. SMA will still be here like they've always been here. But you can't run a big factory like that if our government and Eskom is not committed to sustainable business in Southern Africa. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but SMA is definitely going on in South Africa, and our services are still the same. Everybody will be here. So yeah, that's just a factory that is closing down. Let's start with a webinar. Why is SMA the leader in PV technology in the world? They got 35 years experience in inverters. Our remote monitoring is definitely one of the best you'll ever see in the world. It's integrated, it's easy to set up, it's very user-friendly. SMA products all come with a standard 5-year warranty, and you can upgrade that to a 25-year optional extension and 5-year extension periods, which you can speak to PROINSO about. They can give you all those details and costs. Those costs are based on the size of the project. So you pay per kilowatt installed, and it's definitely a thing that you can offer your clients, that extension on the warranties. We've got the OptiTrack Global, which is for partial shaded modules, but we'll discuss that later. There's innovative products coming out, like the Sunny Smart Storage and the Tidal Optimizers. We're also going to talk about that just now. All our inverters, except for the small 1.5s and 0.5s, they have two MPPT trackers per inverter with multiple string inputs per MPPT tracker. So that's also definitely one of the great selling points about the product. All SMA PV inverters can be integrated with SMA battery inverters. So all our products are modular. You can put them together. You can if you do it right, you can build big cluster, off-grid clusters in 3-phase with the Sunny Islands and the Sunny TRIPOWERs. You can use sun. So all the products integrate with each other. Then that's what makes it nice. Modular design, like I said now, and off-the-shelf solution for your PV projects. From small microinverters to large-scale commercial PV solutions. Not that we get all of that in South Africa, but I'll describe it just now later, like the small microinverters. And all inverters are IP65 rated PV inverters, so that means when you have a big power plant, you can put them outside, out of the sun. These not in the sun, out of the sun, but they are IP65 rated. As you know, inverter wants to cool down, and the worst you can do is if you put that inverter in the sun. Just a quick look at the broad range of inverters that SMA produce. Some of this, please note that a lot of this stuff isn't available in South Africa. I just wanted to showcase you guys what is available in the world from SMA. We look at the SunnyBoy 240, which is a small microinverter that fits behind each solar module, and that produces, it's a small microinverter that produces AC power directly from the inverter, from the solar panel. And then you got the small SunnyBoy 1.3, and that's all American products. You got the high frequency inverters, which was also American products. Then there's our SunnyBoy 2.5 and 3,000, and up to the 5,000, which is South African single phase inverters. And then we go to the Sunny TRIPOWERs, which starts at a 5 kilowatt, and the TRIPOWERs goes from a 5 kilowatt to a 25 kilowatt. At the moment, there isn't any 15 kilowatt Sunny TRIPOWERs available. Reason being, they stopped manufacturing, I think, last year of them, but they promised us next year, early next year, we'll have again the Sunny TRIPOWER 15 kilowatts available. Then at the bottom left, you'll see the Sunny Island, which is our battery range of inverters. They start with a 3, a 4, a 6, and an 8 kilowatt battery inverter on the Sunny Islands. Then in America, you get an interesting inverter called the SunnyBoy Smart, SunnyBoy Storage inverter. We've got a lithium battery on the side. I actually think they changed those inverters now to SunnyBoy secure power supply, which how they work is if your utility is down, you can still out of the SunnyBoy draw a small amount, I think of 1.5 kilowatt directly from the solar panels. It's unfortunately not available in South Africa because it has to do with our regulations, but there is products like that available in the world. And then you also get Sunny TRIPOWER. I know of the 25 project inverters. They come without a screen. So if you do any project 100 kilowatt or bigger, you can ask for a project inverter. It comes without a screen. Because you've got a cluster controller maybe controlling those inverters, you don't need a screen on that inverter. And they come in cheaper. So as soon as you do 100 kilowatt or bigger, you can ask for the project inverters. The only thing is they normally don't keep stock of them. They get ordered from Germany, so you're going to have to wait a while for them to get here, but you'll definitely save on some costs. If we look at SMA's portfolio, and this is what I said, it's off-the-shelf products. You can start from a small inverter and up to a big utility scale inverter, and it's all products you can pick off the shelf. I'll explain just now how you can do decentralized inverters, and you can build a big utility scale power PV plant from just 25 kilowatt Sunny TRIPOWERs. Now, if you look at home, that's normally the 15 kilowatt and smaller. We've got all the SunnyBoys, Sunny Islands, even Sunny TRIPOWERs. Some of the houses down here in Cape Town, they have 3-phase electricity. I think some of the bigger houses up there in Joburg everywhere also has 3-phase electricity. So there you have to offer your client a Sunny TRIPOWER 5,000. And then the smaller commercial stuff, again, Sunny TRIPOWERs. Just take note that all of these inverters are normally the TL30s at the moment, the new ones that came out. So there with the Sunny TRIPOWERs, at the moment you get 5 up to a 12, and then you get a 17, 20, and a 25 Sunny TRIPOWERs. And then obviously the bigger inverters, bigger than 500 kilowatt, is the Sunny Centrals, and then you've got which they use in the big utility scale, and you get this integrated containerized solutions for utility scale that has also the medium voltage transformers. But yeah, that's a discussion for next time. So we're going to first talk about the private application single phase inverters and how they work, and I think this is what a lot of people are interested in. Definitely. As you know, the PV inverter is the heart of any PV plant, and there's no way that you can compromise on quality when it comes to an inverter. That's the thing that works every day. If the inverter is down, the whole system is down. You can say the same for solar panels, but if one solar panel is down, it can easily be replaced. You can easily bypass it, and the whole PV plant still goes. So it is very important to me that you make sure you get the right inverter for the right application, the right guarantees, and you know it's going to last you 25 years. It's no use in getting solar panels that are guaranteed for 25 years and your inverter is only going to last 5 years. As you all know, inverters convert DC to AC current. I don't need to teach you anything on that. And also they got MPPT inputs. So that's just maximum power point trackers to make sure that you get the most out of your array. Then the inverters has got protective features like surge protection, type 2 surge protection built in. Can obviously withstand harsh environments, like I said, the IP65 rated. Grid monitoring management, I'll speak about it just now. Our Sunny Boys and Sunny TRIPOWER now come with basic web connect built in, you get it with it. So that's a standard feature, and it helps obviously if you want to monitor your plant remotely. And then international compatible. If you look at in South Africa, we have to comply with the NRS 097 standards. The rest of the world has got all the different standards, and on request we can give you all those standards or certificates that SMA comply with. Then we're going to look at the private applications. Therefore, we in single phase, the Sunny Boy name always refers to the single phase SMA inverters. For those of you that don't know SMA, Sunny Boy is for the single phase inverters, and Sunny TRIPOWER is for the 3-phase PV inverters. The Sunny Boys and Sunny TRIPOWERs are the PV inverters, and the Sunny Islands are the battery inverters, single phase battery inverters. So in South Africa, we get the 1.5, 2.5 PV inverters, the Sunny Boys, and they got a single MPPT input. And then you get some of the oldest I've got in my office, the older 2.5 Sunny Boy with a dual input. And then you get the 3, 4, and the 5 Sunny TRIPOWERs with a dual input. So what it just means, you've got 2 MPPT inputs, which means you can have 2 different arrays of different facing arrays of panels. So if you've got one east and one west, you just put one on the left side, input A, and one on the B input. And then per input, you've got 2 strings that you can put per input. So that makes life very easy, especially for the installers. It's very easy to connect up. As long as your input A, those 2 strings that are in there are the same length, the same panels, and they're facing in the same direction. So you just split your strings up, and then the same with the other input. What I normally do in an application, I put external surge protection on each string, but I just put one per MPPT input. I put external surge protection. Although they've got internal surge protection, you want to make sure when the lightning or secondary lightning strikes your panels, you would rather replace that extra surge protection on the outside than have to call out a technician, open your Sunny Boy or your Sunny TRIPOWER and fix that surge protection. It's just much easier. Like I said, multi-skin technology. And then there's on the Sunny TRIPOWERs, you've got reactive power supply management, which especially if you on, for instance, a Ruraflex ESCOM point where they calculate your reactive power, it's one of the great selling points also for our inverters. It's obviously a fanless design, and then it's got shade management with OptiTrack Global Peak. So that is just a fancy MPPT controller. But nowadays with the optimizers, which I'll discuss just now, that also helps with it. So that OptiTrack Global Peak helps the MPPT perform even better. So if you've got only like partial shading on 1 or 2 of the panels, that OptiTrack definitely helps. It makes sure that you get the normal MPPT with shading, you get maybe 85% effectiveness. You'll probably still get close to only lose about 1.5–2%. Private application 3-phase inverters, again, some of the houses in South Africa is 3-phase, some of the smaller private businesses have a 3-phase electricity point. There you use the Sunny tripowers. Why I've put right next to the amperages, I just want to explain to you guys another thing, and this always helps. If you've got for instance, a 3-phase 10 kilowatt inverter, each string input has a voltage, a maximum voltage and a maximum amps that you can put in per string. So if you literally go work it out, maybe with Sunny Design Web, you put in string A1, you put the maximum voltage on a Sunny tripower, which will be 1000 volts, and you put one string in there, and then on the other string you put also the maximum voltage of amps. You can actually put up close to 200% PV versus or DC versus AC ratio. So what that means is you can put on a Sunny tripower 10, probably 16 kilowatt of solar panels, and without compromising your guarantee. As long as the inputs, you comply with the input voltage and amps. And I'll explain just now how you can then make your power plant much more effective and cost effective by doing that, which is to me a very important point that you can discuss with your clients, especially if you've got a roof that's maybe not north facing, you've got an east-west facing roof, a dual MPPTs, and the fact that you can put more PV on than your inverter is rated for helps definitely with that. And you've got integrated web connect functionality. So if you don't want to put in a Sunny Home Manager, you can connect that inverter directly to the internet just by a LAN cable. It dials up next to the internet, very easy to set up. And that's all free for the life of that inverter. Some standard with the SMA inverters. I'm going to quickly discuss, because the Home Manager is really a big part of the residential market, and not everybody understands what a Home Manager is and what a Home Manager does. I'm going to just discuss quickly just a few basic points about the Home Manager. People always say, I'll buy a Sunny Boy, but why do I have to buy a Home Manager? Why do I have to buy a SMA energy meter? It's very important, especially in South Africa, where we're not allowed in most situations to feed back to the grid. Or we need to control whatever we're feeding back. We can't be a net producer in any of the provinces or municipalities. So we need to control whatever we're feeding back to the municipalities. And this is where the Sunny Home Manager comes. Except for that, it is part of the monitoring, and then also with the new technology with the Bluetooth sockets, I'll also explain how that works. So, as I'm saying, the comprehensive monitoring and analysis and visualization of relevant energy flows in the home. It does forecast and planning of the PV generation. I'll explain that just now. Recommended actions form the basis of power use. You can also use it in commercial applications. For instance, if you don't want to buy a cluster controller and you know you're only going to have 1 or 2 Sunny tripowers, you can use a Home Manager also with that. So how does it work? The Sunny Home Manager, see it as a type of router. You can use Bluetooth to communicate between the Sunny Home Manager and your Sunny Boy, and that connects. So what you would physically do is you take the LAN port, you take your router, you just need a LAN cable, you connect it into the Sunny Home Manager, you need an electricity point, so you plug it in there, you take the Sunny Home Manager, put it in, plug it in, it needs to be powered by electricity, then you've got a LAN port, you plug your router in there, and it dials automatically through to the SMA website. So what you then do is you go onto the internet and then you set up your PV plant from that side. So that's actually what the Sunny Home Manager does. It's the brain of the system. It talks to the Sunny Boy, it talks to the SMA energy meter, and it makes sure that your whole PV plant is running. So in a private application in a home, you would have a Sunny SMA energy meter connected to the utility, and you will And that's the part that you need to control any feedback from your inverter into the grid. That's the part that controls that. So with the home manager, it dials directly to the Sunny portal, so you can do all your energy monitoring via Sunny portal. You can control energy management. If you look at this screen in front of you, what the Sunny Home Manager also does, it has Bluetooth sockets, which you then connect inside your house, and you can set those sockets to turn on when there is PV available. So for instance, your dishwasher, or maybe your pool pump, or maybe your geyser, if there's PV available, it will switch it on, and it will manage your consumption, so that you try and consume all your energy in the middle of the daytime. So part of the Sunny Home Manager is you get standard free access to the Sunny Portal website. Very easy to commission and easy to set up. If you don't know how, we've got the SMA service technicians always available. It's a phone call away, and it happens really. It's very, very easy to set up. What you'll basically see when you open up your Sunny portal is you will see the screen in front of you, how much you're using from the grid, how much your PV is producing, how much you're feeding back, and you can set your feedback to the utility, or your feed-in. You can manage that. So it's very easy. It's just a click away. You can manage your feed into the utility also via the internet. You don't have to be physically at the device. You can do it over the internet. And it's got nice graphical displays to make it easy and understandable for a client. There's a lot of management systems out there which is very, very hard to understand. Not with a Sunny portal. Very easy. So what it also does is it takes your, one of the things that Sunny portal does is it takes your PV forecast data into account, into consideration. So for instance, if it knows every day at 1 o'clock you've set that it must put on a plug, and that plug is maybe your swimming pool pump, but now it sees, listen, it's going to be overcast today, there's not going to be enough PV available. And as soon as that time comes and it realizes there is not enough PV available, it will then not switch on that device. Because there isn't enough PV available, it did a little forecast with the weather, and it's like a brain of your heart. It just tries to make sure that you utilize that PV which is available in the middle of the day. It will manage that for you. You can do it by yourself also, you don't need all that, but it just makes it very easy. And then quickly looking at commercial applications. So they've got the three-phase inverters, which is your bigger Sunny TRIPOWERs. For me, I use mostly 20 and 25 Sunny TRIPOWERs. That's probably the two best sellers in South Africa. The photo there is the one without a screen, but you can get them also with a screen. It doesn't cost extra. It costs less if you don't take a screen with, obviously. But that's only the bigger when you take 100 kilowatts and more. So their input voltages are slightly different than a Sunny Boy. You can put a DC string-in voltage of 1,000 volts maximum per input, and then you get 3 on each side. So you got 6 inputs of around 1,000 volts each, and per MPPT you got 33 amps that you can put in. Yeah, so you guys can see that the AC voltage, you get 50 and 60 hertz. In South Africa, you only get the 50 hertz, but it's all set. It comes standard with a speedwire interface and Bluetooth. That's a new thing. In the past, we used to buy that separate. Today, when you buy a Sunny TRIPOWER 25, you'll definitely get a free Bluetooth connection or in a speedwire integrated. And the reason for that is all the power plants, normally in commercial applications, you need to be able to power your plant via a speed wire, and it's a communication between the Sunny Home Manager or the cluster controller and the SMA inverter. It's got integrated DC surge arresters on your screen, but like I said previously, I would always put an external one. It just makes life very easy. If you got a client in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden you have some lightning, And now you have to go out there, you have to explain him how to open the box, and it just works better. And I would also, it's only a type 2 surge protection on A and B, and I will also always put in a type 1 and a type 2 surge arresters on top of that also. If you look at the bottom of that Sunny TRIPOWER, you've got a big disconnect switch. It's like the Sunny boys. They all come with integrated DC disconnect. So you don't need to put a separate DC disconnect for your strings. It helps a lot. You can see the Sunny TRIPOWER's one just looks a bit different. It's just a big switch at the bottom left, which disconnects your string if you turn it. So there's just a quick overview of the Sunny TRIPOWER portfolio. We've got the 5, the 12, it's a smaller Sunny TRIPOWERs, and we've got the 15 and 17. At the moment, 15 is not available, but it will be available early next year again, and then 20 and 25. You also get a big Sunny TRIPOWER 60 MLX, which is the big project inverters, but SMA, I think over the next year we're doing away with them. Their internet or their connectivity and with the other devices isn't that easy because it isn't a pure SMA inverter. So yeah, it is they're doing away with the big ML60 MLXs, but it will be replaced with other Sunny TRIPOWER inverters. And you can definitely speak to Andre or the guys at PROINSO, and they'll tell you as soon as that's available and what's happening there. As I said, South Africa has a dedicated service line. You can speak to Sia there in Cape Town. They're very helpful. If you go into the office, they've got most of the products displayed on the wall there. So while they're talking to you, they can take you step by step what to do if you're struggling with a device. So you would phone them and say, listen, I don't know how to set up this cluster controller, and Sia would stand there in front of the cluster controller, explain to you how to set it up, what to do, what to look for. That's very, very helpful. Kagiso is also the other guy you can speak to there. So one of the first things when we started with SMA products in South Africa, to me, after-sales service is very important. There's no use in having this wonderful product with wonderful guarantees, but nobody can help you. And I don't want to talk to a machine, or I don't want to open an instruction manual and struggle for hours. I would like to pick up the phone somebody on the other end, have a human speak to me, and then ask them, what do I do? And that was one of the first things that SMA, they are really good at it. If you have an issue, you phone in, they will help you. If they can't help you, they'll send out somebody like me and say, listen, this guy will come out and he will help you physically set it up right there. But 99% of the setup can be done over the phone. So I was just explaining that you can put the Sunny TRIPOWERs together and you can have a big PV plant. It's called decentralized PV plants, where you can use Sunny TRIPOWERs and you can build a 1 megawatt plant by just using Sunny TRIPOWERs. If you go look at the cluster controller, there's 2 types of cluster controllers. The cluster controller, for those that don't know, it's a control and monitoring device for the bigger PV plants that connects to your Sunny TRIPOWERs. And with a smaller cluster controller, up to 75 devices. So it takes 75 times 25, and that's how big cluster you can make up with the Sunny TRIPOWERs. One of those big inverters. If one of them are down, 2.5 megawatts are down. Where with the Sunny TRIPOWERs, if there's one that's down, you only use maybe the 25 kilowatts for the day. And also you have now string monitoring of each of those devices. So each string you can individually monitor. And if there's issues, say there's a resistance fault on one of the strings, you log into that Sunny TRIPOWER and it will tell you input A, input B. So you can physically walk up to that string, go look for that problem. It's not a massive power plant where you have all these strings coming into one combiner box and now you have to find a fault in there. This makes fault finding also very easy. Here's the SMA cluster controller. So on a normal cluster controller, you get 75 devices, and then you get the small cluster controller 10, which you can power up to 10 devices from it. So what the cluster controller does is a PV plant management system and a monitoring system. So if you, for instance, have 3 or 4 Sunny TRIPOWERs, your option is you can have the home manager or you can have the cluster controller. But as soon as you do active power limitation, where you don't want to feed back anything to the ESCOM or to the grid, the Sunny home manager, just the reaction time is a little bit slower. So with the cluster controller, it's very quick. That reaction time to control feedback to the grid. And it's also a management program where you can control all your devices from the cluster controller. What's really nice about the cluster controller is you set it up, anybody can fiddle with it. They can't set anything on it. It's just a display screen. You need to log in with your computer and then change it. So you can't change anything on the cluster controller screen. So the guys can scroll around, check everything, but you can't physically change settings from there, which makes it really safe. If the cluster controller is maybe located in an area where people can fiddle with it. Or especially, I even know clients like to touch things and play around with it, and then they phone me and say this thing doesn't work anymore. With the cluster controller, that works really nice. So as I said, it's for plant monitoring and control of up to 75 SMA string inverters. It's internet-based speed wire, so it just connects the same as you would set up your Sunny home manager. You do precisely the same with the cluster controller. You physically plug in a LAN cable into it, and there you go. You get notifications via email or FTP. Under fault conditions, that's also very nice. As soon as there's something wrong with your PV plant, it will email you and say there's a problem with the inverter or something's down or utility is down. The same with most of the devices. You can put in a USB device on the cluster controller. You can put in a USB device and it stores all the data logs, and it rewrites it over a period of time. So if there's any issues with that plant or the plant went down and you don't know what happened, pull out the USB, stick it in your computer, download the data, and you will send that on to SMA, and they can help you find that problem. So this whole webinar is about SMA inverters in solar plant. As you know, SMA has got PV inverters and solar inverters. What's nice is everything is integrated. So you can use the SMA PV inverter with Sunny Island inverters to make an off-grid system. You don't have to go and buy special inverters to do that. You get in America, it's called Sunny Boys with transformers. That's the older type of Sunny Boys. We have transformerless inverters, and then you get a Sunny TRIPOWER. So you can also put up a 3-phase off-grid system by having a Sunny Island on each of the phases, and then one Sunny TRIPOWER feeding those 2 phases. Or if you're in a 3-phase application, maybe your loads are maybe uneven. You can have the 3 Sunny Islands and maybe have 3 Sunny Boys each on a phase. That's also possible. So what makes SMA slightly different? I call this old school inverters. You get DC coupling, where you connect the PV array to a PV and you have a direct load, maybe like 12 volts in a house. or you have a old school solar system where you have the PV connected to a charge controller charging your batteries, and then obviously from the batteries into an inverter or directly into your house. So SMA works slightly different. If you go look back to, let's just go back to that screen. If you look at the bottom, your PV array obviously charges your charge controller, then your batteries, and then from your batteries you have a inverter, a battery inverter. That is like most off-grid systems work. SMA says we do AC coupling, where we have a PV array connected to a PV inverter connected to a grid. And that grid can be supplied by obviously a utility, if you take all your sunny islands, which act as a utility. So as you guys know, a PV inverter always needs to connect to a reference point, and that reference point can be supplied by the sunny islands or your ESCOM or your municipality line. What makes that different? Say, for instance, in the daytime, you are running, you've got an off-grid system. Let's take an example. You've got an off-grid system. Now you have got a 5 kilowatt of PV and maybe a sunny island 6. So in the daytime, if you're not drawing more than that 5 kilowatt that your PV is producing, you will run directly that power from the sun. It doesn't go through the batteries. We're in the old type of coupling. You first charge the batteries and then you use the electricity, or the inverter will use the batteries, convert it to AC, which you will use, which means 24 hours a day you use the battery capacity. With a Sunny Boy, it's a grid tie inverter, so you're using that directly from the sun and not physically going through the batteries. And then in the daytime, in an off-grid system, you have the battery inverter's capacity and the PV's inverter's capacity to your use. So if you've got 5 kilowatt of PV and maybe 6 kilowatt of battery power from the sunny island, you're looking at 11 kilowatt that you can peak in the daytime. And at night, you obviously have the sunny island to do that. And with that, you can also have the generator connected, wind turbines connected, UPSs. You can all connect that in AC. Yeah. From a designer's perspective, this type of coupling makes also for the bigger off-grid systems very. If you have maybe 3 houses connected to each other, or you have a big store and 2 houses connected to each other, you can physically have the batteries and the battery inverters in the one location. And then there's obviously a connection between the 3 houses, and you can have PV with that Sunny Boy in the one house, and you can have the Sunny Boy in the other house, and they're all connected to each other, and they'll share. So that makes this type of AC coupling very easy and better than having a charge controller where everything has to be at one place. So you can have one big battery setup that feeds all these locations, and then each location can have its own PV array with its Sunny Boys. Makes it very flexible, expandable, and decentralized. Basic principles of battery supply. I just want to explain to you how the Sunny Boy and the Sunny Island works in an off-grid situation. You have the Sunny Boy connected to the batteries, which obviously gives you a base load. Let's call that your main load, your main supply. And then as you use it during the day, it depletes your batteries. But now we connect onto that a Sunny Boy, or Sunny Boy with some PV panels, which in the daytime, when you got the sun, it gives you a load, it will supply your load with enough electricity, if you design the system right. So there's a lot of ifs in this. And that's why it's important to know your client's needs to make sure that you will be able to do this. If the client draws more than what the PV can supply, so as soon as your loads are less than what the PV is supplying, the excess energy is used to charge your Sunny Island's batteries. And if you don't use anything in the load, you charge that batteries. So what happens when the batteries are full and the client doesn't use any electricity? So you can't just keep on producing energy if you're not going to use it. So the Sunny Island and Sunny Boy talk to each other. They realize that we've got more than enough energy, my batteries are full, and then the Sunny Boy just produces less energy. Onto that, you can also connect for instance, a generator. If the batteries are depleted, like we have here in the Western Cape, June, July, August, 30% of our days are overcast. You get 10 days where you don't have any sun. You have like maybe 30% capacity that you would normally have in summer. So what happens in a situation like that? You can connect the generator onto that. All Sunny Islands come with 3 relays that automatically can switch on the grid. You can switch on the generator. So if your generator's got a solenoid, then it can automatically start that generator and it will feed your system. And then it will use that power to charge the batteries again. So you connect it up, the journey starts, and zip, pulls the batteries again. It sometimes makes your off-grid setup much cheaper because you don't need to get away with so much batteries, especially here by us in the Western Cape. If you go look at a year's PV or a year's generation, in the winter we're producing less than half that we normally produce in the summer days. So if you could design an off-grid system for the winter months or the worst case scenario, you have a lot extra capacity in the summer months. It sometimes doesn't make sense if you look at it rand and cent. So some clients, I'll just put in a generator. It's going to maybe run 10 days a year, but it's not going to cost me that 150,000 rand extra. And you can integrate it like that. So people always ask, how does all these products fit together? What do I need when I buy a residential? I always say minimum requirements is a Sunny Boy or Sunny TRIPOWER, a Sunny Home Manager, and an SMA energy meter. SMA will also tell you that they don't like selling a Sunny Boy without selling a Home Manager and an SMA energy meter. Because if you do an application to the municipality, you need to prove to them that you can control any active, you can activate active power limitation. So that's a feedback to the grid. You can actively control that. And you can't control that if you don't have a Home Manager and an SMA energy meter. So it sets up very easy that SMA energy meter is single phase and 3-phase up to 63 amps inline, or if you have a commercial application bigger than 63 amps, then you have to do it via CPs. It's also very easy to set up. Everything connects to each other. What I would do is, what I do in the application is I buy a LAN switch. I connect my Sunny Boy with my Sunny Home Manager and with my SMA energy meter and to the internet. Done. That's all you do. I sometimes don't even use Bluetooth. Reason is Bluetooth, you sometimes have connection issues where with a LAN, we know there's going to be no connection issues. So as a standard system, when I put in a system at a client, I make sure I've got a Sunny Boy, Home Manager, energy meter, LAN switch, LAN cabling. There you go. Connected to the internet, no other issues. If you look at commercial, you've got a few different setups. You can use a Sunny TRIPOWER, and you can use a SMA Home Manager or a cluster controller. Again, what's the difference? Sunny Home Manager, I think you can only put up to 10 Bluetooth devices, and with a cluster controller, I can put up to 75 devices. So again, when I do a commercial setup, I put in an energy meter, cluster controller, Sunny TRIPOWER, LAN switch, LAN cabling, there you go. Sorted, no issues, you don't have connectivity issues, very easy. I do that as a standard. Cluster controller, just another thing, a cluster controller, like I said, the active power limitation is just very quicker with a cluster controller than it is with a Home Manager. So, but there's no use in putting a cluster controller in for a client. It is only going to maybe in the future put up and only 2 Sunny TRIPOWERs. Discuss it with him, see what his needs are, but you can also put a Sunny Home Manager in with that. You don't need to put a cluster controller. And then new and future products. At the moment, they've already launched the Sunny Boy storage. It's a small 2.5 kilowatt inverter that works like a sunny island, but it's for high voltage batteries, lithium-ion batteries. It's designed with and for Tesla and with also the new Daimler batteries. I've never worked with one. They are coming in South Africa. It's very soon. A very important thing about it is people must know it's not for off-grid. It's not a sunny island inverter. How it works is for actually built for the European markets, where you in the daytime store the sun's energy in batteries and tonight you use them. It can't work off-grid. If you don't have a grid, it will shut down. So what it does is at night, if your batteries are full, it will shut. It will move over to your batteries. You'll utilize your batteries. It will switch off your grid. You can use your batteries, and then when your batteries are empty, it will switch back to the grid. It's not an off-grid inverter. That's why they got the sunny islands. Another new products that have come out, I heard Johannes said, I think they ordered first kilo optimizers. So if you know a little bit about optimizers, under normal traditional optimizers, you would put one behind every solar panel. SMA have a partnership with Tigo, and what they've done is that they came up with this brilliant optimizer that you only put one behind the shaded area. So if you've got one or two panels that's maybe behind the chimney, you know you're going to have some shading issues, then you only put those optimizers behind it. I haven't worked with one of them before, but as I understand in the training, it's very easy, and it also saves a lot of cost. Because now you don't have to put 10 of them up. Now you only put one where you've got a shade issue. Makes it very, very sensible. Because to me, optimizers are a bit costly. I don't see the need for them. But if you have now, only have to put up one in the shaded area, that makes sense. I want to talk just quickly. I know we've probably not got a lot of time left. We've got like 10 minutes left. Johannes probably wants to go through the questions. I'm just going to quickly go through SMA. Got really nice monitoring, SMA monitoring in Sunny Portal systems. We've also got on your right, you'll see a Sunny View. That's what the client can use to view the solar plant. It has a lovely visual display where you can see what you're producing, how much money you're saving. And do yourself a favor, if you want to go have a look, you can go onto Sunny Portal, you can play around there. There's also a website from SMA called Sunny Places. It's PV systems that logged onto the internet that you can view other solar systems in maybe your own area. If you want to know how a 5 kilowatt is performing in Bloemfontein, then go and log on, look for a 5 kilowatt system in Bloemfontein, and you can see how it's performing. The Sunny Portal is your access to your monitoring. So if you want to monitor your systems, you log into Sunny Portal. It is then connected to the internet. I'm just going to quickly share a system for you. So if you guys see, that's one of my Sunny Portal accounts. I would log in there. I click on one of my clients. I can easily see if there's an issue with it. I can see what they've been producing. So this is a system running here in the desktop. I can see what's been producing for the day. I only commissioned the system last week, so I can then go back and see what they've been producing every day. Very user-friendly. You've got a logbook that gives all the problems. It logs it for you. You can go back to it. Sunny Portal to me is a must for every solar plant. If you don't know what you're producing or what your client's producing, then it doesn't make sense to me. Why do you have solar? They got a saying in Afrikaans, om te meet is om te weet. If you can't measure it, you can't control it. I just want to go quickly back to our presentation. Okay, so like I explained, the Sunny Island, the monitoring system is very easy. Sorry, Andre, I know you want to, yeah, there's some of the displays. And yeah, thank you guys for attending. I hope I got you interested in the SMA products.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Stefan. We've got a bit of time now to just to go through a few questions. Stefan, I've got one here. It is, does the cluster controller allow you to download the data remotely to the FTP server as opposed to the USB, which is local?
Yeah, you can set it up. I haven't done it before, but I know you can set it up and you can send it to an FTP server. Yeah, it can be set up like that. Okay,
fantastic. I've got a question.
We would normally, we would normally, if you have a remote plant somewhere, the cluster controller is definitely the way to go.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Then we've got Linda here. You wants to ask a question. Linda, you are live.
Hi, good morning, guys. Pleased to meet with you again. I just got a brief question around the closure of the SMA factory. I'm aware that the factory was generally specifically producing the utility scale inverters. Now, I would just like to know if those inverters will still be available in South Africa, particularly for all these solar parks out there. And if so, obviously, I suspect they would have to be imported. But what would be the cost implication thereof? Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you. Thank you, Linda.
Okay. Did you get my question?
Yeah, I missed Andre, I missed a big part of his question. I only heard the last part saying that what will be the cost implications.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what Linda asked was with the closing of the factory and not being able to create or make the Sunny Centrals in South Africa anymore. What would it be? Would these still be an import? Would they still be made in the UK? Is there a bigger cost associated to it?
I don't think the costs will be the issue as long as the rand is stable, like it is at the moment. The rand has a big influence on it. But you must also remember all those parts all were imported from the UK previously. So it was just assembled in South Africa, put together in South Africa and tested here. So yes, it will be imported. SMA is doing everything it can to make sure that that cost won't be too high versus the Sunny Centrals that were made in South Africa. It's just, they are doing everything they can to make sure that those costs aren't too high. But I don't think it will be a problem.
Okay. I've got another question here that's asking, please give some advice concerning a Sunny TRIPOWER without the displays. He's got this customer particularly has a 50 kilowatt system, and he wants to know if you can buy the displays. And yes, you can. You can buy the displays. If you want pricing, all of that, you're more than welcome to talk to either myself or Matthew or Russell. Russell is unfortunately not here today. He's overseas attending our PROINSO stands and stuff there. We've got exhibits in America and in the UK. So unfortunately he cannot be here, but we'll be able to assist with costs and everything like that. So Stefan, I just think the question would be the concern about the screen. Is it really necessary? Stefan, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, for some reason my internet connection is bad now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. The question was just, is it really recommended to have the screens with the Sunny TRIPOWERs?
No, it all depends. If you have internet connection there, I wouldn't even put screens on. I would buy a cluster controller 10, connect it up, and there you go. Then you can remotely monitor it or monitor it from your phone rather than having to see what it's producing. And the cluster controller, anyway, it also tells you what you are producing with those different plants. So I wouldn't put a screen, and I would just get a cluster controller and connect both of them to the cluster controller.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions?
Can you hear me, Andre?
Yeah, I can hear you. Any other questions from anybody else? Marius, I'm unmuting you now. Marius, you are live? Marius, can you hear me? Just give it a few more seconds.
You, Andre, I didn't get the question again. Sorry, man.
I think that's it.
You, Andre?
Yes. Yes, I think that's it. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you for all of your time. Thank you for everybody for attending. If you would like for more pricing or anything, please visit our website at www.proinso.co.za, and one of our friendly staff will obviously be able to help you with whatever you need. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you for SMA, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day. Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.